Is there any move you've made repeatedly during your managerial career where you had a higher expectation of success than the move to bring in Mariano?
No, not at all. I mean, that, again, you just, as a manager, you chomp at the bit. You try to get through the sixth, and then you have some people, you have Nelly and Stanton that got you through the seventh and the eighth. But the interesting part about it in today's baseball, and you watch scores or leads disappear, we thought in terms of, 1 run's enough, starting at about the sixth inning. And, Mariano very respectfully disagreed with some of my stuff. If I'd walk somebody intentionally and, he'd come in after the game, he says, Mr. T, he says, I could get that guy out. I never did it again. And but he was about as good a security blanket as a manager could possibly have, because I said, even if it didn't work, it was something that you could never possibly second guess yourself. And I had the luxury in the postseason to bring him in the eighth inning, so that was made things a lot easier.
All the way in the back. Hold on, bud. Ed.
Jorge, Mariano, is there any special moment or moments that you can recall that stands out to you in Mariano's career?
There's a bunch of them. I would say standing on that mound, after the World Series win, stands out. There's a bunch of them. I think, after him winning or him saving the record and him standing on the mound by himself, I think that stands out for me right now.
Jorge, through all the years of catching him, did you ever have moments where you felt like opposing hitters, either through what they said to you or body language, were already beaten even before the first pitch?
Yeah, well, you can tell the adjustments of certain hitters that would either come up on the plate. Carlos Vargas hitting right-handed. There's people using smaller bats. All of a sudden they've been using white bats, the whole game, and all of a sudden a black bat comes out. There's a lot of things that you saw, standing on one area, and all of a sudden Mariano comes in and they're a little further out. Left-handed hitter will get off the plate a little bit more forward, so the cutter wouldn't be on his hand. I mean, there are a lot of things that they did, adjustments that told me that they were beaten.
Take 2 more, Jesse.
For all three of you, is there anybody that you can think of that loomed over a game so much that just knowing that he was out there, a guy that didn't start a game as Mariano did?
Well, for me, one thing, when Georgie was telling that story, an all-star story came to light when you wonder what the opposition's thinking. I'm not sure. I think it may have been Atlanta or Houston or wherever it was. I like to try to get all the players in the All-Star game, and I remember I said, guys, let's score more runs. We had a 1-run lead. I said, because I'm using everybody, and I get somebody drags on my jacket from behind. I turn around, it's Darren Erstad. He says, who's pitching the ninth? I said, Mariano Rivera. He says, you don't need any more runs. and that struck me at that point in time, to give you the idea of the respect that he garnered, throughout the game.
Bernie?
I can't think of anybody that would have more of an impact in the game just by the mere notion that he is available. Teams adjusting their lineups and so unorthodox, putting right-handers to hit, pinch hit against him. He really made people get away of their comfort zone and just go, and do some crazy things because he was pitching. So I can't really think of anybody that would have that much of an impact in the game. Being a non-position player.
Yeah, teams would do anything to get to the 7th and 8th inning because the 9th was pretty much done.
Take the last one, or 2 more. in the back.
Jorge, you caught over half of Mariano's saves. Can you just talk about what that experience was for you? What it was like for you personally?
Yeah, he made my job easier. He really did. We when we first met we'll meet in the mound, and we'll go through the 3 hitters that we're gonna face. That's pretty much what, and we'll tell them what I wanted to do for strike one, that I needed that strike one, and obviously the location of his pitches were unbelievable. He's a guy that doesn't lose the side of his control. He doesn't get rattled, so he's gonna throw strikes, and I'll tell him, okay, we got this guy, and this guy, and we'll go through what the first pitch will be, and then after that will be a little bit easier after strike one. But pretty much the same thing. People making adjustments, like I said, and right-handed hitters. Like Bernie said, there will be pinch hitters, right-handed pinch hitters, and then all of a sudden he started throwing two-seam, fastballs. So he made adjustments throughout his career also. It's just amazing that, talking about a guy throwing fastballs, it's just two-seamer and a cutter. Pretty much that was it, So we had 2 signs, and guy at second base, we had to change it every once in a while because the guys at second base would know what's coming, even though you knew what was coming. But the location is so important with Mo that you don't want to give that away.